It's Friday, February 16. Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. In today's show, we learn about the National Identification System and lots more. Stay tuned as we turn the pages of another magazine.
God knows how much I've tried, the truth I cannot hide, to keep you satisfied. True love I now exist is the love I can't resist, so jam by my side. Ooh, yeah.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Friday, February 16. Government is projecting to spend nearly $774 billion to manage the affairs of the country in the 2018-2019 fiscal year. Finance Minister Audley Shaw tabled the estimates of expenditure in the House of Representatives yesterday. For the 2018-2019 financial year, $560 billion will be spent on recurrent expenses, including money for public sector wages and managing hospitals and schools. More than $213 billion is also budgeted to carry out capital projects, including work on some major traffic corridors. With a total of approximately $397 billion, the Ministry of Finance once again gets the largest share of the budget, most of which is earmarked to take care of the country's debt obligations. Education continues to be a priority, with the second largest budgetary allocation, amounting to $104.7 billion. While delivering the throne speech yesterday, the Governor-General indicated that national security would be the government's major area of focus in the new fiscal year, and the budget bears out that commitment. The ministries allocated $78.5 billion, including a sizable capital budget of $12 billion, which is more than double the $5 billion provided in 2017-2018. Other notable allocations include approximately $67 billion to the Ministry of Health, $33 billion for economic growth and job creation, $10.8 billion for local government, and just over $9 billion each to the Ministries of Justice and Transport and Mining. The Standing Finance Committee of Parliament will begin its examination of the planned expenditure later this month before the budget debate opens in early March, when the Finance Minister will expand on how it is to be financed. In the meantime, government has tabled its spending projections for the next 3 financial years, in addition to the 2018-2019 estimates of expenditure. Projections for 2019-2020 indicate reduced spending of $36.98 billion. The allocations are projected to increase in the next 2 fiscal years, with $807.9 billion budgeted for 2020 to 2021 and $789.3 billion for 2021 to 2022. Finance Minister Audley Shaw says the projections reflect the level of spending that will continue on existing programs and projects and to maintain government operations at the current levels.
The projections are rolling and are not static, but will be revised each year to ensure alignment of expenditure with the forecasted resources envelope and government's policy priorities. Obviously, this will also indicate levels of growth achieved and the success in revenue enhancement, including enhanced tax compliance initiatives.
Minister Shaw says the additional 3-year projected spending will become a permanent fixture in the estimates of expenditure and will be extended to the revenue estimates.
This is an effort to provide more information to the public about the government's future spending intentions, and this is in keeping with the administration's commitment to greater fiscal transparency and accountability.
The National Identification and Registration Authority regulations will be developed and tabled in the House of Representatives by September 2018. Governor-General Sir Patrick Allen made that announcement as he delivered the 2018-2019 throne speech Thursday morning. He said work to transform the RGD into the National Identification and Registration Authority will also begin in the 2018-2019 legislative year. And to support the enrollment of persons in the NIDS, a national address database will be established, indicating where all parcels of land are located within the island.
Ensuring that every citizen of Jamaica can be identified and known to the state so that their rights and entitlements can be preserved and planned for in advance is necessary. It is necessary for the country to continue on that path to prosperity.
In support of this, government will continue work to digitize the records of the Registrar General's Department and develop processes to link the records of births and deaths to prevent identity theft. Meanwhile, the Governor General also announced yesterday that $220 million will be spent this fiscal year on two programs to expand and improve the island's water capacity and infrastructure. $120 million is earmarked for the construction and maintenance of rural water supplies, which includes catchment tank rehabilitation and rainwater harvesting. $100 million will be used to rehabilitate irrigation systems, which will improve productivity and food security in the agricultural sector.
The government continues to work towards the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all.
And finally, 42 females graduated as the nation's first cohort under the Jamaica National Service Corps on Saturday. The Jamaica National Service Corps was established in May 2017 within the Jamaica Defense Force. It's part of the Housing Opportunity Production and Employment HOPE program, which aims to provide educational and job opportunities for young people. The females were among a total of 226 soldiers who completed 14 weeks of training at the Moneague Training Camp in St. Anne. The graduates received training in military service knowledge, basic first aid and weapons handling, among other areas. Attorney General Marlene Malahoo Fort congratulated the recruits and urged them to stick to the values learned during their training.
In the past few weeks, the core values of the JDF would have been instilled in you: discipline, integrity, honor, commitment, courage, and loyalty. These are values that we so urgently need to see more of in society as we progress towards increased levels of peace and productivity.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The government is moving towards implementing a national identification system NIDS that will become the primary source for identity assurance and verification of all Jamaican citizens. The NIDS will establish a reliable and accurate database and provide each individual with a legal identity. Citizens by birth or persons ordinarily resident in Jamaica will be issued a National Identification Number NIN and a National Identification Card.
A NIN is from cradle to death. Upon death, it is retired in the system, but it is never used again for anyone else.
To receive this card and facilitate the data collection process, persons will be asked to provide key information. Information required includes your name, date of birth, address, email, and phone number. In addition, your photograph and fingerprint will be taken. The biographic and biometric information are mandatory for the identity verification database. However, it's voluntary for individuals to provide information on their place of employment, profession, family status, education, and religion. So what will not be collected?
DNA will not be collected. Let me just mention quickly that financial information will not be collected either. Political affiliation and sexual orientation is omitted, and it states so in the bill.
The following documents will be required where applicable once enrollment begins in September 2018.
If somebody refuses to sign up for the NIDS, there won't be a penalty in the sense that there is no punitive measures outlined in the bill that is before Parliament.
The National Identification Card will display your name, nationality, place and date of birth, and address. The card will also bear a unique 9-digit number. The numbers will be randomly selected and bear no relation to your date of birth or sex. The 9 digits are in keeping with the same number of digits in the tax registration number TRN, and also to fit into systems that are already configured to accommodate 9 digits.
We wanted to facilitate a situation where there would not be this enormous retrofitting.
The initial ID is free, and if you do lose your ID, there will be a cost to replace it initially.
The National Identification System will give the government an authoritative position to be able to identify its citizens. It will also provide accurate data for national planning, eliminate multiple government-issued IDs, and create a shared data system within ministries, departments, and agencies of government. NIDS will seek to eliminate multiple identities and identity theft, strengthen immigration and border control, and ensure public and national safety. It will also improve the country's international standing and credibility.
Once we put this in and all of us have our national identification numbers and cards, there is no question who we are. So when you're doing business with an overseas entity or locally, it is giving us as the people of Jamaica and the country far more credibility in the international sphere.
The benefits to citizens are many. In addition to the one ID, one identity, it will enable better delivery of service by the state and the private sector.
If you look at countries who are progressing and are trying to move into the digital age and give better service to their citizens, you have to, as a criteria, have a way of identifying your citizens. For example, how many people need welfare in this particular parish? How many kids need PATH? Is there duplication among people accessing government benefits? Is there a better way of assessing the people in a particular area in terms of are they accessing enough benefits? So that is the idea. So it's a holistic development of doing business, making it easier to do business, giving you a confirmed identity.
And what of the private sector? A key component is that it will support the Know Your Customer requirements for banks and other businesses.
This is going to enhance that tremendously and allow them to have better, be able to negotiate with their correspondent bankers much better.
As for the benefits to the government of Jamaica, this range from efficiency and cost savings to simplified documentation, streamlining of business processes, and facilitating the public sector modernization process.
The project is a national identification system project, but it's going to have a huge positive impact in the re-engineering of a lot of processes within the government of Jamaica, and as a result, make us far more efficient.
But what are the security measures that will be put in place to protect the national identification system? One is that the information captured will be secured and stored on a national civil and identification database. The experts will take it from here.
We are putting in place fit-for-purpose data, security, and usage policies. We are also putting in place fit-for-purpose, based on international standards, physical security to protect our data center. Our data, let me say our data will be stored in the government of Jamaica data center.
So we are spending a lot of money, there's a lot of infrastructure being put in place, and we are ensuring that all access to data is managed, is audited, and is controlled.
The National Identification and Registration Authority Bill NERA, which is now before the House of Representatives, has also included provision for penalties if breaches or abuse of data do occur.
The bill is very clear, and the bill has a section that focuses on the punitive measures that the government will take, up to $4 million and 4 years in prison if you abuse the data, especially for persons working within the database management organization.
Some things you should note are that
Access to your data must be initiated by you.
The agencies cannot go on the system and download. You can't browse my information. If I am, my data is on the system, nobody can go and browse on and see what is there. The police cannot access the data without a court order, and that is in the bill. And external agencies and foreign governments cannot just go and access the information.
the Registrar General's Department will be transformed into the new authorized body to administer the National Identification System. The name will be changed to the National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, and will fall under the office of the Prime Minister.
The functions of the RGD, that is the civil registry, will continue within NIRA, and then NIRA also has the responsibility for identity management.
A national rollout of the National Identification System is expected for April 2019.
And we are confident that when the project is implemented, all of our lives will be better and more secure and safer.
As people come onto the system, as the system becomes more trustworthy, as Jamaicans develop more confidence in the system, the policymakers will eventually move to a point where it becomes one ID.
We feel honestly that it's going to be a game changer in a positive way for Jamaica.
Oh God, I really wish I could retire right now. It's high time I start my own business.
Well, honey, don't you think you should apply to the early retirement program? Look how long we are talking about that.
You know, you're right.
The SERP is for eligible government employees between 50 and 59 years old. Speak with your HR department or see the press for details.
Deadline extended to February 28. Apply today.
What do you know about the criminal bench book? Its main function is to aid trial judges in directing juries in criminal cases and persons participating in court proceedings. And you'll have to stay tuned to find out more.
The work of Supreme Court judges has lightened with the introduction of a revolutionary tool. While this book is primarily geared towards judges, it is also of use to every Jamaican who comes in contact with the law. This criminal bench book has been published to help ensure justice is delivered in a timely manner.
Judges have to start preparing their summations from the time when they receive the papers for a case. They have to identify the issues and identify what are the directions that they will give in respect of those issues.
Over the years, our judges have performed this difficult task without the benefit of a bench book that collates in one place all the material needed for the purposes of summation and directions to juries in criminal cases.
It is a reference work for judges with the more common directions all put together in one place, so as to assist judges to give directions to juries.
Prior to receiving this bench book, judges and members of the bench had to use multiple sources from England, other Commonwealth jurisdictions, and senior colleagues to compile a summation. The book contains guidelines and summations from other jurisdictions on a range of cases covering criminal liability, child defendant, accessory liability, and joint enterprise, among others. It was authored by retired Court of Appeal judges Justices Ferdinand Smith and Carl Harrison.
The bench book aims to give assistance, but is not intended to be a replacement for thorough research of the law required.
The bench book will also be an important source of reference for lawyers, law tutors, lecturers, and law students. Also, that it will help persons participating in court proceedings.
The criminal bench book is now accessible on the Supreme Court website. Copies were also given to several entities, such as the Jamaica Library Service, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, and the Jamaican Bar Association, to be used in the dispensation of justice in Jamaica.
Probably the most important contribution that this bench book will make is towards ensuring the constitutional protection of the law, the right to a fair trial to which every Jamaican is entitled.
The book was completed with funding and technical support from the British High Commission.
It is a very impressive document.
This is in keeping with 21st century thinking. Certainly from my staff, you recognize that all 43 lawyers at the Office of the DPP, we are the persons who prosecute in the High Court, where the judge would have to sum up the case to the jury. And part of our responsibility is to assist the court. This particular bench book will be not only required reading, but it will be one of the documentary material that will be in our toolkit.
As the government seeks to reform the justice system, the cries of "we want justice" will be diminished through a transparent process. A major milestone is the publication of this legislative tool, the Criminal Bench Book.
Did you know regular physical activity controls your weight, reduces your risk of cardiovascular diseases, reduces your risk for type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, reduces your risk of some cancers, strengthens your bones and muscles, and increases your chance of living longer? Get active, get fit, stay healthy.
The Ministry of Health wants to ensure you are healthy, body, mind, and soul. Have you been eating right, resting, exercising? You need to get up and move.
Get moving for a healthier you is the passionate call to action by the Ministry of Health. And it's creating waves across the country as Jamaica moves to tackle non-communicable diseases (NCDs) through regular physical exercise and proper nutrition. Within schools, the Healthy Lifestyle program is being rebranded through the Healthy Youth Positive Energy Hype initiative.
The reality is that 7 of every 10 Jamaicans would die each year. And we have about 18 to 20,000 deaths in our country each year, die from what we classify as non-communicable diseases, lifestyle diseases, to put it simplistically. And it's all about our physical inactivity and our consumption patterns, our habits.
The Ministry of Health is on a mission to change that by getting every Jamaican to engage in at least 30 minutes of physical exercise daily. In fueling this fitness revolution, the ministry launched the Jamaica Moves campaign under the theme, "More moments, more memories, and more life."
If you do what we are promoting, then as the tagline says, you'll have more moments, more time to spend with your family, your friends, do what you enjoy, more memories, capture all of those lovely memories, and more life.
Through promotional events across the island, the ministry is showcasing entertaining exercise workouts that persons can go home and practice. Free medical checks are also being provided.
It's part of the preventative healthcare method, and that's the approach that we're trying to take before we get to the part of the curative side, which is hospital care.
Jamaica Moves is also developing walking trails in each parish and partnering with local walking and running groups. This is all part of the National Strategic and Action Plan for the Prevention and Control of NCDs for the period 2013 to 2018. The plan covers 7 main categories of diseases: cardiovascular conditions, cancers, chronic respiratory diseases, diabetes, sickle cell, mental health disorders, and injuries.
Rarely do we speak about the need to change our lifestyle in our own interests as individuals. And it is cheaper to do that. 1/3 of your income, according to the World Bank, if you get arthritis, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and all the others that are linked to lifestyle, A third of your disposable income, the World Bank says, will end up being spent on treating those ailments. So it affects the bottom line and your pocket also.
Many persons like this man can testify to the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle, which extend beyond monetary savings.
All my family have diabetes. One night, I see my hand hook up like this, pull in and get cramp. My feet then start to cramp. The morning I put on my clothes, get ready and go to the doctor. He do my blood sugar level and it was 29.5. And I say, oh my God, you almost kill yourself. So the doctor said, I know what to do, Mr. Reed. He says, yes, sir. So I was weighing at the time 285 pounds with a big tummy like this. So he said, go and cut out your belly. And you know what I mean. So I said, I understood, doctor. I'm going to change my diet and I'm going to take up exercise 1,000,000%. So I start off by 1 mile back and forth till I end up doing 10 miles. Exercise is the key to good health. Eat right, change your diet, less carb. Remember to put the running shoes right at your bed. As you step out of your bed, you step in. And the first thing, you drink 1 cup of water before you move. And eat a lot of fruit, eat a lot of greens, and always have 1 glass of the green juice every week.
Dedicating 30 minutes out of every day to physical exercise may seem a big challenge, but begin with just 1 step and you'll find it becomes manageable. Regular exercise helps prevent damage to your heart's artery from high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and high blood pressure that can lead to heart attack or stroke. Medical experts say aerobic exercises also improve the body's blood circulation and reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes while helping to control blood glucose in persons living with diabetes. There are exercises tailored to building muscle and losing weight, increasing strength, and improving flexibility. Corporate Jamaica is on board with the Move for Health, and even more are encouraged to take on the Jamaica Moves Corporate Challenge. It involves companies and their staff signing up and participating in the various run-walk events.
We want to mobilize as many companies as possible. So what we say to you is sign up your company, get registered, endorse the Jamaica Moves brand, which is a national brand. The reality is, many of us don't practice healthy living. So we need more people to do it. And by doing it, encourage others so to follow.
Persons can learn about the various Jamaica Moves challenges and events by logging on to the Ministry of Health's website, moh.gov.jm or jamaicamoves.com. Staying fit and healthy is everybody's business, so get moving for better health.
Thanks for spending time with us. We leave you with this proverb: high seed kill Mistamas puss. What does this mean? People who fight for positions for which they are not qualified will soon face embarrassment. Remember to keep up to date with the latest government information. Join us online at jis.gov.jm or watch our programs on our YouTube channel. And be sure to check out our social media platforms. You may also catch a new edition of Jamaica Magazine tomorrow right here on this station. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.